And we are live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Matt. I am from RoyaleCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyaleCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyaleCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. Yes, we are live in here, hanging out with you guys, talking Royal Caribbean cruises. So thank you for joining us here. Had a little bit of a delay there getting started, but we are here. And every Monday, we're live on YouTube. And we're not on YouTube. We're over at RoyaleCaribbeanBlog.com with plenty of Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice, really everything you need to have a great Royal Caribbean cruise. Tony Diaz, our first chatter, even before I hit the start button. Welcome, Tony. Jared in the house. We got Jay here, Teresa Trabella, Jamie is here, Noah Robin, Anthony Kirby, Michael First, Sarah Baker, hello. Son of Albie, haven't watched you in a while. Welcome. Carlos from DC, what is going on? Charles O'Connor is here. Kim Oakland is here. Hello, Kim. Welcome. Ken Lesko. John DiMuccio is here. Welcome, guys. Danny, Andre, Steve Clem, Amanda Ferguson is here. What is going on? Josh Taylor, good evening. Missed you last week. Spent last week on vacation in Galveston. So good to be back. Well, good for you. I'm glad you were able to get away for a little bit. That is an awesome, awesome feeling there. Dennis Ormond, hello. Tony Diaz, I was putting out the crackers and cheese. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. That's good housekeeping right there. And we're starting off today's live broadcast, not even like 2 minutes in. I have no watch on, but with our first super chat, Ed Speece with a big super chat. Thank you, sir. Ed, thank you so much. And another super chat. Wowie, wow, wow. Javon is here. Javon, hello, and thank you for your super chat. Cindy Romanet is here. Larry Watts from Cincinnati, Ohio. Welcome. Son of Albie, I wanted to go on Symphony of the Seas before this pandemic happened. I know, I wanted to go on Harm before it happened, but here I am. Stephen Montoya, that's a really interesting question. What's the best way to become a travel agent? That is a really good question, Stephen. I don't know that I've ever gotten that question before. You know, there's a lot of agencies out there. I would say, number one, you want to find an agency that you like, that kind of jives with, you know, whether you've used them in the past as a client, whether you know them from reputation, whatever the case may be. I would say if you want to become a travel agent, you basically want to find an agency that looks like they got their stuff together, and then apply there. Most agencies are usually hiring, and they can put you through the process of being accredited and, of course, trained in a lot of this. But it's a very broad question. It's almost like becoming, in a lot of ways, you know, becoming a real estate agent, being a trader of some kind on the stock market. There's accreditation, there's a training component to it, but it's an interesting job. I mean, travel agents, you know, people often ask me, Matt, are you a travel agent, or why aren't you a travel agent? And I'll tell you something. Travel agents work really hard. They work hard for the money, so hard for it, honey. I tip my hat to the travel agents that are out there, because you do a job that I can't do. That is, to me, it is a lot of work, especially if you want to do it right. Nisa, checking in from Richmond, Virginia. Nisa, it is good to see you here as always. I think I saw Brett from San Diego in the house. Welcome, Brett. Kim Oakland, 104 days, Oasis of the Seas, and Kim is reminding me we need to start off today's broadcast with the most important question. How many days, theoretically anyway, till your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Would love to see that. Shane Whedon coming in with some New Zealand Kiwi dollars. I don't know what those are worth, but thank you, Shane. Shane writes, hello from New Zealand. Great news that we are getting Quantum down here for the 2021-2022 season. Yeah, do you see that? We posted about that last week at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. You've got Ovation, you've got Radiance, and now you've got Quantum of the Seas sailing out of Australia and offering cruises, obviously, to the beautiful and exotic New Zealand, South Pacific, and destinations all around there. Robert Jaworski is here. What's up, Rob? Good to see you here. Robert's a good friend of mine. Not only is he great, he reads the blog. Not only is he hanging out here, but he sends me things when he wakes up. Because when he wakes up at whatever time it is in Australia, I'm going to bed. So we get a little bit of coverage there. He's like the night shift here at Royal Caribbean Blog. He keeps his eyes out for anything happening in those few hours I go to bed. Jeremy Simpson, when is the project sale date for Freedom of the... when is the projected, I think you mean, sale date for Freedom of the Seas? Can't wait to book my next trip. You know, Jeremy, that's a really good question. Officially the answer is August 1. I don't know that that's really going to happen, but Royal Caribbean is not really committed to a firm date of when each ship will go at what point. Let's see here. Brett, no Royal Caribbean cruise booked at this time, waiting for some type of solid schedule. I don't think you're wrong on that one, man. I think there are a lot of people who are in that situation. Typical Jet, what do you think the new normal on cruise ships will be like buffets and stuff? My cruise in 271 days on Symphony. Nice. That's a good question. What will cruising be like? So guys, I want you to type in chat, what is one thing, one change you expect to see on Royal Caribbean when they reason? Now, of course, Royal Caribbean has not said the answer to this question. So to Jat's question, what changes are we going to see? We're going to only speculate and guess. But if there was one, the most obvious change I think we can all almost bet money on is there will be some change to the buffet. Whether the buffet is, completely gone or just full service, like people serve you instead of you getting it yourself. Who knows? But I think that's pretty much a safe bet. I think it would be shocking if it wasn't the case, But it remains to be seen how much of a change we'll see. Brent Ferguson. Now, Brent, I got to ask you a question. Sorry, guys. Quick question to Brent. Brent, is the Amanda Ferguson that's in here the same, your Amanda, or somebody different? Because I know your Amanda is not very social media savvy. No offense, Amanda. Holy moly, Glamp63 with a giant epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Glamp. Glamp writes, hi, Matt. Haven't been here in a while, so here's my re-entry fee. Glenda. Wow. That was not necessary. You really don't have to do that, but thank you. Thank you. All right, more hand washing, social distancing. No promenade $10 sales, Don Goldstein says. That would be interesting, right? That's going to be, wow. I welcome that, right? Amanda, you are Brent's Amanda. Wait a minute, time. You're not on Facebook. Well, you are on Facebook. You're barely on Facebook, and you're on here. First of all, hello, baby Emma. And second of all, I'm just shocked. Your social media, Amanda. Who knew? Whitney Castillo with a super chat. Thank you, Whitney. Whitney writes, can I hear about Next Cruise? I plan on booking on board December while on alert. Yes, absolutely, Whitney. So Next Cruise is the ability to book another cruise on board a Royal Caribbean ship. And what Next Cruise offers you, Whitney, is the basically what they're going to say is the price is the same on board the ship versus at home. The difference is, Whitney, by booking on board the ship, you can qualify for extra onboard credit, free money to spend on your cruise that you would not be able to do, or have, I should say, if you booked it elsewhere. And depending on the length of your cruise and how far in advance, that will dictate, and the type of room, that will dictate how much extra onboard credit. But the Next Cruise office is open every day of your cruise. There's set hours. You can actually walk up there. If there's an available agent, you can sit down right away. Usually there is, but if they're busy, no worries. There's a book right outside. You just put your name and your stateroom down. That's a reservation. Come back at that time. They'll take you next. And it's pretty straightforward. You can go there and kind of go through the book and come up with some ideas. You can go in there and be like, you can go in there Brent Ferguson style and be like, I want to book that cruise on that date with this, just lay it out there and be in and out in 5 minutes. Pretty simple. I would tell you one piece of advice when it comes to Next Cruise, and I go to Next Cruise a lot to book my cruises. When it comes to Next Cruise is make sure you specify exactly what you're looking for in your fare. Are you looking for a refundable or non-refundable cruise fare? Are you looking to prepay gratuities? Things that are necessary to tell them, dining choices, at the point of booking. Oftentimes that's where I feel like there's some issues that occur. Certainly to me as well. Michelle, when cruising sets back up, will the pools be open, right? Michelle, the answer to your question is we don't know, but I would be shocked if it wasn't. Let's face it, number one, a pool is filled with chlorine. Chlorine is in the grand scheme of coronavirus, chlorine is our friends. Not that I'm whatever the word is for I would say epidemiologist, but I think that's people who your epidermis, right? I don't know, whatever. I'm not a scientist. Whitney, you are very welcome. Mike Jameson, Next Cruise is awesome. Lower deposits on cabins too. Great point, Mike. I always forget about that. But yes, there are lower deposits. Ron Ladowski in the house. LeBron, has Royal Caribbean said or hinted if they'll be still offering the Royal Up program? I've heard nothing against it, Ron, that it would be going away. I suspect they still will be offering it, but who knows? There's been no reason to believe otherwise. Let's put it that way. So, Zach says, Teddy Ruxpin says, cruising will resume October 8th. Is that right, Teddy? Wow, all right. Glad you guys are having a conversation over there. James Fellock, Matt, love your channel. First Royal Caribbean Cruise on alert, March 2021. Nice. Courtney, when do cruises start back up again? Courtney, we really don't know the answer to that. Officially, Royal Caribbean says the date is August 1. But that's a moving target. That's not really, they've had dates before where they're like, well, we're hoping for this date. Well, we're hoping for that date. Okay, we're really hoping for this date. I think the answer to your question really is once Royal Caribbean will put out some sort of thing, say, hey, look, this is going to be the dates when these ships start up, because it will not be 26 ships starting up at once. It's going to be a handful at the beginning, and then a slow, gradual ramp up to the whole fleet. Whitney, what's the Royal Up program? Royal Up, Whitney, is an opportunity in the weeks before your cruise to bid for a stateroom upgrade. Basically, you get an email from Royal Caribbean, be like, hey, your cruise is coming up, and would you like to upgrade your room? Now, it's kind of misleading in the sense that just because you get that email, Whitney, doesn't actually mean that there's an opportunity to upgrade. Sometimes they use it as a means in case somebody cancels at the last minute. In addition to that, it's a blind bid. So you have no idea what Ron Ladowski bid, or what Traveling Better bid, or what Carol bid, or Luke Wallace, right? You don't know what they put in there. So you're just assuming, you're putting the best bid you've got, and then obviously Royal would go down the list of who bid the most and dole them out that way. So it's an option that's out there. I've done it one time, Royal Up. I did it on a cruise about a couple days before I was supposed to go on a cruise during hurricane season. There was a hurricane come, Hurricane Dorian. I was booked on the cruise. I knew people were canceling left and right, so I did a Royal Up. I got it, and then I ended up canceling the cruise because the storm was coming directly at the Royal Caribbean Blog headquarters, and the company here wanted me to, watch the other coworkers here, namely my children. So I decided to stay home instead. It was a tough one. Jamie, hey Matt, what is your broadcast schedule during the week? Jamie, absolutely. Every Monday we're live on YouTube, Tuesday Facebook, Wednesday Periscope, Thursday off. Well, off for now anyway. Friday Periscope, Saturday Facebook, and then Sunday is for top tier insiders only. Brogan, when do you think I will know whether or not my August cruise will go ahead? That is a good question, Brogan. I mean, at the very least, 30 days seems to be the minimum. There is no telling, Brogan. It's a really good question. There's just no way to know, quite frankly. Not the answer you're looking for, but yeah. Josh Taylor, let me go back to Brogan's question really quick about when do I think we'll know whether or not it'll happen. Here's what I will tell you, Brogan. I think you'll know it's going to happen when Royal Caribbean comes out and says, hey, this is when we're going to really resume cruises. These ships will start up first, and obviously if your ship's on that list, then you'll know. I think this, we plan to resume August 1. Don't take that as an indication that you're definitely going or not. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Luke Wallace with the super chat. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate that. And Cruise Addicts with a back-to-back super chat. Thank you, Cruise Addicts. 147 days till Odyssey. Still optimistic about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with being optimistic about things. I think, number one, the world is a much better place with more optimists than pessimists. It's a lot more fun anyway. And number two, you got to have something to look forward to. So absolutely. Carlos, if I use onboard credit for cruise planner purchases and then find items at a later date, will I get my credit returned in order to repurchase? Yes, Carlos. So if you purchase something with onboard credit on the cruise planner website, and then a week later or a day later, or whatever, you find it for a better price, as soon as you cancel it, so you go to cancel the old purchase first, you will get that onboard credit back immediately to reuse. Luke says, Matt is the king of optimism. Yeah, I mean, usually it kind of backfires on me here with the whole COVID stuff, and it's, it can really, keep you down a little bit, but I feel like it's a much better ride to be just, the glass has got to be a little half full, Brian, is there a specific good reason why Royal Caribbean or other big companies take 45 to 90 days to give a refund? I think, Brian, the reason is, I don't know if it's a good reason, the reason is prior to COVID-19, their refund system was not set up for this kind of avalanche of refunds. Now you could say, well, they should have been able to do it. They should have anticipated something along these lines. This is unparalleled. This has never happened before. The most you've ever seen is maybe during a hurricane, you might have 2 or 3 sailings canceled, not hundreds of sailings canceled. And unfortunately, their computer system, is just simply not set up for it. It's more of a manual process because there's a lot of moving parts with it. Now, again, here's what I would tell you. Is it taking way too long for the refunds to come out? Yes, I would agree on that. Do I think that they should have known ahead of time? No, I don't think if you came into my chat in February or January of this year or a year ago, whatever, and you've been like, you know what, Royal Caribbean really needs to update their booking system just in case there is a mass cancellation in which there's 6 months or more of no cruising, I would have told you, sir or madam, you are crazy. I don't know how you got in here, but Tony Diaz banned that guy, right? Like, we would have been like, you're crazy. Now, obviously, it is the new norm, but I think there's blame on both. There's a little bit of blame, because at the end of the day, this isn't, they should, you can make the argument they should be doing more for it, but on the other hand, this is just, it caught everybody, not by surprise, quite frankly. Best way I could put it. Benjamin Cohen with a super chat. Thank you, Benjamin. Benjamin writes, color me optimistic, but if Odyssey was going to be delayed, would Royal Caribbean know by now, or do you think they would have officially announced it already? They may know by now, but actually I think they are optimists as well, but they won't announce it. I think they only make announcements, Benjamin, in my observation, when there is 100% certainty of something occurring. And what I mean by that is if there's a chance, if they're in a meeting and it says, hey Bob, what's the status of Odyssey? And Bob says, well, it's probably going to be delayed, but there's still a chance that this, that, or this could occur. They're not going to cancel. They're going to make every effort to make sure those sailings can occur. So, Ben, yeah, I'm optimistic. Other people are as well. You never know. But obviously, as weeks go by, without other updates. One thing for weeks to go by, it's another that, right now we should be like knee deep in updates from Odyssey. You know what I mean? And obviously that's not happening. Part of that is also because marketing's been scaled back quite a bit. So there's a little bit of that involved. But, listen, I can see it going both ways. Listen, if there's one thing we've learned with this whole COVID-19 thing, it is quite simply that expect the unexpected. Every day something changes. We don't know. But I don't want to paint the picture that it's definitely going to be canceled, or delayed, I should say, delayed. And I don't think that it's definitely going to happen necessarily. There's not, the absolutes on that are still to be determined. I think Royal Caribbean, even if we were, Benjamin, to go into headquarters right now and lock up Richard Fain, like in, wrap him up in a bow, like in National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, and bring him to our house and be like, you tell us the truth! And he'll say, you can't handle the truth! And you say, I think we deserve the truth. All right, that's a different movie. But I think we would have come to the conclusion that they would have said, okay, the answer is we don't really know yet. That's a really long-winded way of me saying we don't know yet. So, Sharon Stockman with a super chat. Woo! Sharon, thank you so much. Sharon writes, hey, Matt, everyone who is booked on Allure out of Galveston should read my comment on your Allure update post. That's a great suggestion right there. In fact, I might have to check that out after this broadcast. And of course, as always, Sharon, thank you so much for your generosity. And Kim Oakland with another giant epic super chat. Woo! Kim writes, if someone has a lot of food allergies, should he or she complete the medical form prior to sailing, or just wait until the waits app on the first day of the cruise? I would do both. Now listen, food allergies are, obviously there's a wide gamut of food allergies. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is, if you're allergic to shellfish, and that means, you can't eat it, but it could be sitting over there and you'd be fine, that's okay. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if you're in if you have the type of allergy that is like life-threatening and you can't be near the stuff, cross-contamination is a problem, then you want to let them know in advance about that kind of thing. Absolutely. I think, I hope that makes some sense there. But regardless, even if you fill out those forms, I always recommend, always remind, they may know, they may say, oh yes, madam, we've got that, we're good. But you always want to remind them of that one. Josh Taylor, Brad Pitt is back. Oh no, sorry, not Brad Pitt. It's just me, Matt. Deliano, wish we could use future cruise credit for drink packages or onboard purchases. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think Deliano, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I think some cruise lines let you do it, but not others. Obviously, Royal's not one of them. But yeah. Aaron Zondeval, what does Oasis still not have after the amplification that Symphony already has? I'm trying to think of something significant. Symphony's Solarium bar is better, but that's more artwork than anything else. They're pretty much in line. They both have bionic bars now. They both have Ultimate Abyss. They both have water slides. They're very, very similar there. MJ with a super chat. Thank you, MJ. Just saying hello, enjoying the chat on the pool deck tonight. Have you tried giving Jobu some rum to get rid of COVID? I have joked about it, but I think we really should, MJ. I really think, listen, if the entire world's plight is based on whether or not Jobu has rum, I think at the very least, I could go grab some rum, put it in a shot glass, give it to Jobu, and hey, maybe, I mean, we gotta leave no stone unturned at this point, right? Michael, first, can you please explain Casino Royale discounts and my Vegas points if I've already booked a sailing for next year? My understanding, Michael, I am not a casino. I don't do any of those things you just mentioned there. My understanding is that they need to be applied at the time of booking, Michael. I know the My Vegas points you get vouchers for. I mean, I think back in the day they gave away free cruises, but I don't think they really do that anymore on Royal. I know on Norwegian they still do. But and I could be wrong, and guys, if you know the answer to this one, please let me know in the chat. David Lucas, did you say shots? My understanding is that you have to apply it at the time. Now, at the time of booking. For Casino Royale, those are usually, again, discounts you can apply, but it should be treated like a new booking, if that makes sense. Carlos, if I book my next cruise while on a cruise, can I then transfer it later to TA, or am I better off leaving my TA handle it by booking through them after the cruise? No, Carlos, you can still book with your travel. In fact, when you sit down at next cruise, and you sit with them, and you say, by the way, please attribute this booking to my travel agent, the next cruise agent can look up who you booked your current cruise with and be like, Mr. Carlos, I see your reservation is with, MEI Travel. Great. Would you like me to apply this then? Yes. Then it's automatic. They get notified. They get the credit for it. Easy peasy. Now, Carlos, you could also book it on your own and just keep it independent and then come home and transfer it to them. But that'd be an extra step. My advice is let them take care. If you know you want to transfer the travel agent, do it at the time of booking. Adriana is here. What's up, Adriana? Hi, everyone. Just joined. Better late than never. Absolutely glad to have you here. Lindsay Warlick, do you know what show is going to be on Odyssey? We don't yet. No, Royal Caribbean has not said anything yet. Jay Wanderman is here. Just a hello to my favorite blog. Aw, thank you, Jay. Jamie, can a next cruise reservation be repriced without losing the onboard credit? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. It follows you, that onboard credit. Andy says, rum is the cure? As a former Royal Navy, I must be immune. Look, I'm just saying at this point, we gotta try everything possible, right? Jay says, do I stay in suites? And if so, do you prefer Grand or Junior? I mean, I have stayed in suites, Jay. I will stay in suites in the future, but I'm not a so-called suite snob, meaning I don't only stay in suites. I look at whatever the best price is and book that. I think most of the time I stay in balcony rooms. If I'm trying to really save some change, or it's a very expensive sailing, I might go down to an inside room, as an example. For my now canceled Alaska cruise, I was supposed to go on Ovation of the season. We actually had connecting virtual balcony rooms, inside rooms. But on other cruises, we get balconies, and if the price is right, yeah, we will move up to a suite. Kind of depends. I don't just paint myself in one corner or another, so. Dennis Orman, yes, Casino Royale does give free cruises. Yeah, I knew about that. I wasn't sure about discounts and whether they have to be applied at the time of booking or they can be applied later on. Barry Cohen, first time here. Great job. Michael. Who's Michael? It's okay. My name is Matt. I am from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining us here. Whether it's if you are brand new here like Barry, let me welcome you. Type new in capital letters so I can say welcome. Michael, first, what time do you recommend for a flight when leaving to LAX from Venice? I don't know about the time, Michael, but if your cruise leaves out of Venice, then I would say you want to arrive in Venice at least a day ahead of time. And given all the jet lag and whatnot, 2 or 3 days is probably not a bad idea. No worries, Barry. It's just my style to poke fun gently at others. So, yeah, no, it's all good, my friend. But Barry, welcome. Luke Wallace is new here. Welcome, Luke. Appreciate that. James Sablin, what's the best drink? The drink you have in your hand. I would say my favorite drinks are Lava Flow with crack and rum. Lava Flow is a pina colada with a fruit mix in there and a rum. Oh, it's so good. It's like 1,000 calories. But guys, let me tell you something. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Josh Taylor, to all you newbies, the locals here are wonderful heaps. That I agree with 100%, Josh. We have an amazing community here. I mean, if it's your first time here and you read this chat, it is not snippiness. It is not people yelling at each other or being mean. It is just straight up nice, helpful people. It really is incredible. I am very grateful for the wonderful community we have over here. Barry, am I a travel agent? I am not a travel agent. I just run RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Aaron Sandoval, the YouTube cruise community is awesome. Yes, it is fantastic. I mean, Sherry from Cruise TV, I don't know if we can trust her. But everybody else is great. Someone's going to go to Sherry. Did you hear what Matt said about you? Love you. Michelle Prost, good evening. Not new, but just joining the party. Michelle, it's always a pleasure to see you in here, Michelle. Joe S. All this talk of alcohol really makes me want a Johnny Walker Blue on the rocks. I'm not a Johnny Walker fan at all, but I do appreciate a good drink. And yeah, little evening entertainment with a drink in your hand. That is my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about going on a cruise. That eating. Cameron, any new updates on Odyssey? No, unfortunately not. Nothing significant anyway. Luis wants to know, what kind of restrictions does Royal Caribbean have for next cruises according to social distancing? Luis, Royal Caribbean has not announced anything yet to that effect. They haven't announced what their new policies or procedures will be going forward. So we have to wait and see on that one. You meant that I need to get off the ship on Saturday in Venice and you go, oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I'm not, that's a really good question, Michael. I have not sailed out of Venice, so I don't know how far the airport is from the port facility. Perhaps somebody in chat, has anyone cruised out of Venice? How far is the airport from Venice? And more importantly, what time is a good time? What's the minimum you want to book something to get back to? Rod Glasper is here. Welcome. Steve Cohen, you should be doing these YouTube videos with a martini on your left hand and a Royal Caribbean glass, right? That sounds like a great idea. Corey Johnson is new. Welcome, Corey. Glad to see you here. Welcome. Typical Jet, my cabin for my cruise was non-refundable. Do you think for future cruise credit will apply to this if I cancel? Typical Jet, if you book non-refundable and you take advantage of the cruise with confidence, which allows you to get a future cruise credit by canceling, yes, that's okay. There's no penalty for there. The only time you'd run into that penalty is obviously if you change your cruise reservation, like you book it for something else or you cancel outright. Of course, lift and shift, that supersedes that rule. Not a problem there. But we're really talking typical Jet about traditional change to the reservation, not encompassing the Cruise with Confidence program. Axel went to Venice last September and sailed on Rhapsody. The cruise port is the long way around from the airport. It takes at least an hour to get there from the cruise port. So Axel, what time did you book your flight home? And thank you, that's good stuff there. Benjamin Gone, how fast are the future cruise credits getting issued faster than the refunds? Yes. Benjamin, the future cruise credits are getting issued faster than the refunds. That's not saying a whole lot, but yes, they are. So, Mrs. Thomas is here. Welcome, Mrs. Thomas. Glad to see you here. Welcome. Martha Vargas with a super chat. Thank you, Martha. Appreciate that. Martha writes, did the entire 2021 season out of Jewel of the Sea sailing to Dubai get canceled? If so, do you know why? Yeah, it did. That happened, I think, even before the whole COVID stuff, Martha. Essentially, political instability, aka Iran, kind of destroyed that. Do you remember before COVID? And it's hard to imagine now, but there was a lot of posturing and tension in the Middle East around Iran, and this was, I think, in the beginning of the year. Anyway, that was kind of the death knell for the Dubai season. So that's basically what happened there. Let's see here. Luke, do you have a list of which ships have the best internet connection, or are they all the same? They're not all the same. The best ships with the internet, the ships with the best internet connection are the Oasis class, the Quantum class. Majesty is really good. There was one more. Those are probably the top tier. Then you have like a middle tier, and then you have some really. But yeah, but otherwise I don't have a running list, if that makes sense. Ron Ladowski is a sweet snob. Kim Oakland, are there mimosas available with the deluxe drink package? Heck yeah, there are. Absolutely. Kim Jake, I already paid full on my cruise and plan in flight for Odyssey of the Seas. We depart Jan 9, 2021. Hopefully we can make it. Fingers crossed. Would love to have that happen. Jerry Foskey wants to know, how do you fit points with Royal Caribbean? What do you mean? I don't think I understand your question right there. Mrs. Thomas is a super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. Booked a 3-night sailing on Navigator in February with the mother-in-law and the kiddos. Couldn't help myself. I love that. That sounds like a great sailing. I really hope you get to go on that one. Oh, wow. Where is? Hold on a second. Marion is telling me that there were some issues there that Axel was talking about. Did I miss Axel's fault? Oh, it says, Axel says, it's really hard to fly home from Venice the same day. We flew from Venice to London at 9 a.m. the next morning and then flew back to the U.S. from London. So, and based on the two recommendations there, both from Marion and Axel, I'm going to say if your cruise ends in Venice, take that extra day there. It's probably the smart thing. Or at least take a flight really late in the day. Javon, which is older, Vision or Explorer? Think about Southern Caribbean 2022. Vision, definitely. Yes. Noel, how can I apply for a kitchen job? I don't work for Royal Caribbean, so if you want to apply for a job, you should go to Royal Caribbean's website. Just Google Royal Caribbean Careers at Sea. Apply there. Andy Unwin says, Brilliance is an awesome ship. We loved her. I love Brilliance. Yes. I've got a cruise booked on her in January. I go every year. Love it. Had a cruise booked on her for October. Got canceled, unfortunately, because of the whole COVID stuff. But, hey, man, out of my hands, right? Sam Martinez. Hey, I want to go on a cruise ship with my family for 2021. What are some tips? Man, Sam, I want you to, there's a lot of great tips. Work with the travel agent. Book the cruise as early as you can. Read a past cruise compass for the ship that you pick. I would tell you this, Sam. Got a little bit of homework for you. Because the answer to your question, I can't answer in here's the most important things, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I could, but it would take up about 30 minutes. And yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is I want you to go after this, use a travel agent, book as early as you can, but also go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. In our main menu, Sam, at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, there's a link that says Getting Started. That link was made for someone like yourself. Someone who's like, I want to book a cruise, but I don't know what I don't know. So what should I know? That is where you want to go. Brian, if you see competitor cruise line vloggers, you all get in a fight like that scene in Anchorman 2 where all the news cruise rumbles. If so, how would I win? First of all, no, we don't. I don't think we're quite that. We're not quite that petulant. I think we're all pretty much get along together pretty well. But I'm pretty sure I could beat up most of the other ones. I'm not. I mean, we're all nerds. You got to remember that, number one. Nerds. When nerds see other nerds, do not get into fights. Nerds run around and throw their arms in the air and run away like olive oil from Popeye. Woo-hoo! Save me, Popeye! Woo! That's how we roll, okay? So first of all, nerds don't get into fights. Second of all, I think I still have a little bit, my nerdiness is not maybe as nerdy as other people, so I feel like maybe if I take some of my Royal Caribbean cups there, I could use that as a good weapon. I don't know. All I know is that I ain't messing with Sherry from Cruise Ships TV. She's from Cali. That West Coast style of fighting, not my thing right there. She's been to the dollar store. She knows how to get through there. You don't mess with Sherry, right? You don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't get in a fight with Sherry from Cruise Ships TV. She's gonna shank you with something from the dollar store. Ain't nobody got time for that. I just can't wait to see her email. Matt was talking all about you last night. Adriana, I appreciate your nerdiness. Thank you. Peter Flihan, I hope I said that right, is new here. Welcome, Peter. Matt, does an amped ship usually mean the internet gets improved? No, unfortunately not. Yeah. So, the answer to your question is, Peter, no. You shouldn't expect any difference one way or another, better or worse. Unfortunately not, no. So if you were talking about Freedom of the Seas as an example, Nope. Jeff Prost is here. Hi, Matt. Looking at booking cruise with Vicky at MEI Travel. Outstanding service. I see why you recommend them. Thank you so much for supporting our sponsor there, Jeff. And yeah, Vicky does a great job. They all do a great job. Absolutely. Adriana, Sherry is the best. Love her Dollar Tree hauls. Man, she is the best. No question about it. Michael first. Matt, need help with luggage in Venice. Do you have any ideas? As in, you need to buy luggage, Michael, or you need to get luggage from point A to point B? If it's point A to point B, I'm sorry, maybe it's another question for Axel. Oh, Axel, are you here? Because Axel's done this. And if you're looking for luggage tips, I might recommend Sherry, again, from Cruise Ships TV. She does a lot of good stuff about luggage. My wife, luggage magically appears in our house. I don't know. Nathan, do you think Oasis from Bayonne is a good idea? I love Oasis. Any excuse to go on Oasis of the Seas is a fantastic idea. Do you know about when they'll release the summer 2022 schedule? No, Royal Caribbean has not said anything yet, but we're going to see. Axel, the question was, and Axel is here, sorry, what was the question? Axel, the question is, if you're getting from the airport in Venice to the port, what's the best way to get your luggage? I think Michael may have been asking that. I'm not sure, but maybe we want to know what's the best way to get your luggage from point A to point B in Venice. Let's see here. Peter, I was totally talking about freedom. Yeah, I was trying to think of amped ships that have bad internet, and that'd be Freedom of the Seas. Yep. Yeah, from the hotel to the ship. So, Axel, I assume it's just a taxi, right? That'd be my guess, Michael. That's what I would do. But maybe Axel has a different question, a different answer for you. Let's see here. Don Tilly, my wife and I are booked for our first Royal Caribbean cruise on Independence of the Seas for August 31. Do you think we'll be sailing? Don, I really don't know. I hate to mislead you. No one really knows the answer to your question. Anybody who tells you otherwise is just lying. They're just guessing, and they're pretending that they know. No one really knows. Certainly, there's a possibility of it, but I don't know if that's 1%, if it's 99%. There's just no way to know. We're all kind of playing that waiting game, Don. I've got cruises booked around the same time you do, and you just got to hope for the best and plan for the worst, really. Marion says, in Venice, the hotel had a shuttle to the ship. There you go. And again, that may depend on the hotel, so always call your hotel ahead of time. Like, hey, do you guys offer this as part of your, a booking here? So, 5-Trip. What's going on, 5-Trip? What are they doing to explore right now? Actually, nothing right now. Right now, I think Allure is still in dry dock, getting some basic work done. But eventually, Explorer of the Seas will get what's known as a technical dry dock, where they're going to just upgrade the propulsion and the navigation on board. Charles Turner, welcome. Let's see here. Dennis Orman, is the Royal Up bid price per night per person or one flat price? It is per person, but it's one flat price. So you bid whatever it is, and it breaks it down for you. It's like, here's the breakdown, but it is per person, yes. Megan Mapson is here. What's up, Megan? Hope you're doing well. I had a great weekend, actually. How was your weekend? It was kind of nice, It was kind of nice. So yeah. Axel says, go straight from the airport to Venice. The cruise port is one of the furthest stops away from the airport. Okay, but taxis. Here's what I would tell you. When it comes to really any cruise port, anywhere in the world, 9 out of 10 times, taxis are what you want to take. It's the simplest means. Are there other ways of doing it that may be cheaper? Sure, but taxi. Taylor, do you know any good cheap hotels with free parking? Port of Miami. No, free parking, it doesn't exist. No, almost even in middle of nowhere. No. So here's what I would do, Taylor. Cheap, good hotel. It's near the airport. It's called the I gotta hope it's still open. Holiday Inn Express, Miami Airport East. That is one I recommend. Holiday Inn Express, Miami Airport East. I stayed there late last year. I paid like $80. Brand new hotel. Great thing. Right at the airport. Fantastic. Now, Taylor, you got your car. That's good. Park at the port. Miami has a really bad reputation for offsite parking. So just park at the port. I've done that a number of times. No problem. J53113. Does Royal Caribbean offer alcoholic beverages in the Windjammer? Yes, they do. Yes. Megan, mine was good. Did some recording and updating my performing website and watched a lot of cruise videos. I saw your post today about the your new website, or your upgrade to your website. So awesome. Good luck with all that. Barry Cody, have you ever been on a New Year's cruise? Yes, I did a New Year's cruise for the very first time this year, however you want to look at it. December 31st, 2019, I was on board Freedom of the Seas. It was a lot of fun. It's a giant party. What's not to love about it, right? Patrick, are the next cruise offers pretty standard or vary depending on the part of the year, ship, etc.? They're standard, Patrick, but of course it depends on how far out you're booking your cruise, the type of room you're booking, and that'll do it, but yeah. Let's see here. Comfort Inn and Suites, Miami Airport North is around $80 with a free shuttle to the port. There you go. I'm not a big, they had a card, but thank you for the recommendation, so I don't think they need the shuttle. I will tell you guys, I never, ever use free shuttles, like from a hotel or something like that. It's always the same problem. And listen, I'm a type A. If you're not like me, this won't matter to you. But I don't take hotel shuttles, even if they're free, because number one, it usually runs on a limited schedule. Number two, you're usually sitting around waiting for a bunch of other people. And number three, worst of all, you may be waiting for multiple shuttles to come back and forth because there's so many people trying to use them. I'd rather be in control of my own destiny and drive myself. Yes, that means I pay for my parking. And yes, that means it costs me a little more money. But I just, on the day of my cruise, I want to be I don't want to be dependent on other people to get to I want to get there. I want to be first over in line. I want to be first on board. I ain't waiting for anybody. Call me crazy. That's how I roll. That's like every time, man. The night before I can't sleep. The morning of I'm super excited. And I'm not waiting in line for a shuttle. I will drive myself. I will grab a lift. I will get there before everybody else. That's like, for the type A that I am, that's what I'm all about. Jenner's Patterns, what's going on? I just booked Navigator for August 7th. I got an aft cabin with a huge balcony. That's great. I really hope your cruise goes off because who knows when the next sailing will be there. But, all right. David Sachs says, okay, you're crazy. Nathan Ludwig, are prepaid gratuities better than paying them on the ship? There's two reasons to do it beforehand. And I always prepay my gratuities for what it's worth. Number one reason, if you prepay them today or whenever, and gratuities go up later, you get grandfathered into the old rate. And number two, prepaying them means you pay off your gratuities in advance, so it doesn't get tacked onto your bill on board the ship. So it's a little bit better for budgeting. So Brett also calling me crazy. Not the first time Brett's called me crazy. Devin, should I book my Alaska cruise now or should I wait till I'm on the ship in August? Book it now. Do not wait. Next cruise is nice, but one of the biggest mistakes I see is people waiting to book their cruises and next cruise because prices go up, and if you wait and the price goes up, whatever onboard credit you'd qualify for would be offset by the price increase. Book it now. That's the way to do it. All right. On that note, I am going to wrap things up here. It is bedtime in the Royal Caribbean Blog headquarters household, so I've got to take off my cruise hat and put on my dad hat and go put my kids to bed. So guys, really appreciate you joining me here on this Monday YouTube Live. A lot of fun. If you're saying, wait a minute, man, I need more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice, Nathan Ludwig, not to worry, my friend. There is still plenty more of that waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, our message boards. I have posted at least 3 or 4 blog posts today, podcast episodes, tons of stuff to keep you occupied between now and our next live broadcast. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great week. Do something fun, and we'll stay safe. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.